Alright people, I'm back. Now I did promise you part 2 of Sex Game, People Hate Their Job, part 2. And I did say in that video I was going to talk about men who get, what's the word I'm looking for? Men who get brought in the H&R's office for sexual harassment and making women feel uncomfortable. And when women call the police on you for making them feel uncomfortable, because that does happen 80% of the time. Now, I'm about to tell you something. Let's talk about when you first meet a woman at a job. Now, a lot of you men from the age of 18 to 29, I've extended the age limit from 18 to 29 to the ages of 18 to 35. And guess what? About 80% of the time, that's 80%, 80% of the time, when you get a new job in the job world, in the workforce world, 80% of the time you always meet this one girl. She ain't super sexually attractive, but she's attractive enough to take out to lunch and dinner. You know, she's good enough to fuck, to have sex with. I know it's uncensored, it's raw, it's uncut, and in the spirit of Stone Cold Steve Austin, I don't give a fuck. You find her somewhat sexually attractive. Problem is, most of the time, the woman don't ever tell you that she has a boyfriend. So you go 3 months, 6 months, like an idiot, thinking you actually have a chance, but you don't. What's that old saying that they used to say in professional wrestling? What was it that good old JR used to say? The lights are on, but nobody's home? Yeah, that was a lot of us. And you don't realize this until you start getting in trouble. You know, usually this is a girl that's 18, 19, 20, 21 years old that you find physically, sexually attractive. And you get in trouble. You get brought into the H&R's office. And they'll say some shit like, you know, we got a complaint against you, right? And you thinking it's probably some old, fat, ugly-ass broad that's made the complaint because she ain't getting no attention. Which, they do bring your ass to the H&R's office, too. But that's not in the beginning. That's like much later for your ass. It's the woman that you have a crush on. Now, I like to call these women self-entitled bitches, aka the drama queen bitch. This is the one that is rude, disrespectful, watches too much television, too many Hollywood movies, too much social media, thinks she knows everything about the world, when in reality she don't know jack shit. This is the one that you talk to. The same person you talk to is the same person who go run off like a coward. I'm sorry if I act like King Leonidas from 300. They act like cowards. They go run off to the H&R's office and they basically make an exaggeration story of how your ass was trying to, you know, mac to her. You was trying to get the fucking phone number, them 7 digits, and her ass dimed your ass out. Now your ass looking stupid because you can't believe that the girl you have a crush on dimed your ass out. Now you feel some type of way with your first strike because you can't believe that the bitch would even do some stupid shit like that. But when it's somebody like, somebody like Nipsey Hussle, for an example, well, don't nothing happen to him because he the shit. You know, he demands respect. He don't go to no H&R's office. You don't ever see him in the H&R's office. You know, same thing with The Game. Same thing with Tupac. You're not gonna see them type of guys in no H&R's office looking like no bitch. The bitch be the guy that be like, man, I can't believe that this female would even have the balls to fucking send me to an H&R's office and file a complaint against me. And a lot of times, you try to give her some attention. They call it in the workforce, they call it unwanted attention. But when a Tupac does it, it's not unwanted attention. When Notorious B.I.G. does it, it ain't unwanted attention. When Chad come up in this motherfucker, it ain't unwanted attention. When it's Chad that comes up in this bitch, it ain't unwanted attention. It's only when you try this shit at work, it's unwanted attention. And I have a term for it. It's called aristocrat hypocrite motherfucker. Because these women are hypocritical. They pick and choose who they do it to and who they don't. And there's a thing on the internet. And it goes something like this. Women who do not find men physically, sexually attractive, she makes rules for. The man she finds physically, sexually attractive, there are no rules. That man can do whatever the hell he wants. Remember, this is for you if you're in your late 30s, early 40s, mid 50s. Remember in the 1980s when Michael Jordan was playing against the bad boy Detroit Pistons, and Isaiah Thomas wrote a book called The Michael Jordan Rules? And rule number one, Michael Jordan can score all the points he wants, but he's not winning no series. And sure enough, Michael Jordan would actually do what Isaiah Thomas said he would do. Michael scored 20 points. Michael scored 30 points. Michael scored 40 points. But Michael Jordan never won the series. Rule number two, never let Michael Jordan out the basketball game for a break. Michael Jordan would get tired at the end of the fourth quarter. Oh, let's send the game into overtime. Michael Jordan still couldn't come out the game. Rule number three, make sure Michael gets hit in the face hard. Oh, and Michael got hit in the face and the head, and Michael Jordan complained to the ref. And you know what the referee told Michael Jordan? Stop acting like a bitch. And now here you go at the workplace complaining to the manager, the assistant manager, and what they tell you? Stop acting like a bitch. Because nobody wants to hear you complain in the workforce that you got rejected by a woman. Now you might say, but I gave her a phone number. She called me 6 to 12 times, and every time she called with a restricted phone number or a private ID, and I can't call that back. I can't text that back. She doing it because it's a mind game to her. It's funny to her to see you struggle, and it hurts your feelings because you ain't used to having no female run game on you. Remember my YouTube video called A Woman Have 7 Boyfriends? Remember that motherfucking video? Well, guess what? Women are players too. And when they run game on your ass, you start bitching, you start crying and shit because you ain't used to no female running game on your ass. Do you know the difference between a guy that becomes a player and a guy who gets game run on? See, a guy who becomes a player because every time he meets a fine-ass woman, she runs game on him. You know, he complains to his male friends, and they go, what bitch is this that run game on you? Yeah, I know it ain't the broad downstairs with the red hair, is it? And as soon as you say yes, all the men laugh at your ass. Like I told your motherfucking ass 10 times, stay away from that bitch, but you don't want to listen. The manager that told you to stay away. The other hoes told you to stay away. The fucking gay guys told you to stay away. That's how embarrassing it is when a woman run game on your ass. It happens to the best of us. It happened to me. I'm one handsome son of a bitch, and every now and then I might get a bitch that run game on me. Now, the first time it happens on you, it's a life-altering event, because you ain't used to no woman being a player. You're used to a man being a player. You ain't used to no woman being a player. See, you think women being players in high school and college as far as it go? Nope. There are some women players at the gym. There are some women players at the nightclub. And there are some women players at the fucking workplace. And you see, when you get brought into the H&R's office for the 3rd or 4th final time, and you be begging and pleading this female to give you one more chance, and she go, oh hell no. And then when you see that arrogant ass smile, like Floyd Money Mayweather, undefeated, ain't never lost, you get mad. And since you get mad, the bitch laugh and make fun of you for being mad. And then have all the other bitches and hoes laugh at your ass because they think this shit is fucking funny. And you getting your feelings for the 2nd time because you're like, bitch, why you making fun of me? You know, you rejected me 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in 9 months. So why are you making fun of me? Why are you making fun of the fact that I'm pissed off? Because she thinks it's funny. Because in her head, you should have found out a long time ago. And it took you getting in trouble and almost getting fired from your job, like me, of course, for you to find out the shocking reality that the reality is she never liked you in the fucking first place. Now, I know it sucks. I know it's tough when it's a woman you like and she do you fucked up. And then what really makes you mad is that the only type of women that find you interesting are women you don't find physically, sexually attractive at the workplace. I know it's fucking comical. It's actually funny as hell. You get women that are fat and out of shape, that are 200 pounds, 300 pounds, and you be like, I don't want you. But that's the only type of woman at the workplace that got a crush on your ass. It's the fat girl. Or you don't like older women. You get women that's 35, 40, 45, 50 years old hitting on you at the workplace. You can talk to them all day and you'll never get sent to the H&R's office. And you'd be like, what kind of fucking bullshit politics is this? But you start talking to a woman that's from the age of 18 to 27, oh, let's take your ass into the H&R's office. We got a complaint against you that you've been trying to talk to every single young, attractive woman in here. And you're like, I'm bored. I've done all my work. I got 3 hours left before I can clock out. Well, find something to do. It's completely unacceptable behavior. You know, that type of ignorant ass politic bullshit. You get that about 85 to 90% of the time at a job. And guess what happens to you? When you get mad, she laugh. But when Tupac get mad, she go, what's wrong, Tupac? When Nipsey Hussle get mad, it's what's wrong, Nipsey Hussle? But when you get mad, bitch, laugh at your ass. Now, you want to know the secrets to getting back at a female for running game on you? The answer is run game back on her. I already made a video for it, but I'm going to reiterate it back in this video. Do you know why a lot of men go to strip clubs and mess with strippers? So they can see the hoe 100%. You know why? So when they meet a regular woman on the street, they already know which woman's a hoe and they know which woman's not a hoe. Why you think some guys go to a dominatrix? Because they get sick and tired of women at their job running game. See, the dominatrix has so much experience that she knows hoes, not that because she a hoe, but because she just knows women's nature because she's a woman. And when you go to a dominatrix, she gives you the ability to see a woman's true colors, period. And women can no longer play games with a man once a man knows how women work. Once you know how women work good and bad, most women won't even try to fuck with you because now they know they can't try nothing. Let's talk about when you get the police called. Oh yeah, that's a classic one. See, when women call the police on you, that's all about power and control. And you see, what really fucks a man up is when he comes to work, right? And he gets these rules that he can't talk. But he sees this bitch, the self-entitled bitch, aka the drama queen bitch, pretty much go right ahead and talk to everyone at the workplace, but his ass can't do that. And you know why he can't do it? Because if he has his final strike like me, because I'm an asshole, you don't get to open your mouth. You don't get to talk about nothing. And a lot of times people will say, well, it's because you talk too much. Like me, you talk too much. The second reason why we won't let you talk is because when you talk, you always say the wrong shit. You never say the right stuff. You always say the wrong shit. So that's 2 reasons why we don't let you talk. And then number 3 is you don't do your work. You just want to talk. So that's 3 reasons why they don't let you talk at your job. But everyone else is talking to the female that rejected you. Now when she called the police, when she called the police, it's because it's to send a message. I have the power. I'm in control. Now, let's talk about what happens after a while when you get brought to the H&R's office. What happens to these types of men? What happens to these types of men is they don't get seen for a very long time. You know, some 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, some 10 years go by that this man has not been seen. And that's where self-improvement comes into play. Remember what I said in my video about self-improvement. Self-improvement don't necessarily get you the woman that rejected you 99.99%. What self-improvement does, it makes other women notice you. Now, when this man is gone for like a decade, it's like a movie. Women, when they get in their 30s, early 30s, they start talking about all the guys they rejected in high school and college. I know it's childish. I know it's funny when women do that. I know it's bullshit when women do it, but women do it. And they talk about the guys that they rejected at their job. Right when they get around 30 to 35 years old, they start talking about the guys that they rejected at their workplace. You know how those females talk, I ain't gay and I ain't no female, but women will say some shit like this. Oh, remember that clown back in the day that used to write you all those love letters at the workplace? And the other girl would be like, well, he was a nerd and he was a weird motherfucker. He was a creep, so I had to report his ass. And other girls be like, but he actually really liked you. Yeah, but he was too fucking short. There's that one. This is my favorite one. Yeah, but he was too fucking fat. And this is a classic one. Oh, he's retarded. And remember this, and remember that I fucking said it as an asshole. The only two times a woman will call the police on a man or bring him into the H&R's office is either one, she don't find him physically sexually attractive, or he's retarded and he has a learning disability. Now you might say that second one is fucked up. It is fucked up. Real fucked up. See, women can't tolerate a man with a learning disability because there's too many challenges to overcome with the man. If the guy can't read and write, she can teach the man how to read and write. If he doesn't know how to count his money, she can teach him how to count money. If he doesn't know how to drive a car, she can teach him how to drive a car. But what she can't do, because she don't know how, because she's not a doctor, is she cannot properly diagnose him. She cannot do a proper diagnostic test on him. And when she finds out he's got schizophrenia, he's bipolar or bipolar disease, she don't want to fuck with him. Because to her, if I can't really do nothing with him, then what the hell I'm going to be with him for? But let a woman be bipolar, she'll get all the attention in the world. Let her have bipolar disease, she'll get all the attention in the world. Let her have schizophrenia or Asperger's or autism, she'll get all the special treatment in the world. But if you're a man and you got some autism issues, oh, women gonna turn you down so fast before it's the NBA finals. Now, if you're not physically sexually attractive, here's the difference between when you get brought into the H&R's office or the cops get called on you and you're not physically sexually attractive. You get off with a warning. Like the police actually give you an off with a warning if you're not that physically sexually attractive. If you got a learning disability, then they might handcuff you because they think you might be 5150. You might turn into the Hulk or some shit and go on a violent rampage. And they don't want to be on the 7 o'clock news, so they probably might, all right, put some handcuffs on them, Johnny. We don't want to make a scene. We don't want people to think that we bad cops when we're not. We're just doing our job. That's what happens if you got a mental disorder. I put the handcuffs on them. But if you're not physically sexually attractive, then the woman is most definitely going to call the police on you and bring your ass to the H&R's office. And you see, when you realize that you're not that physically sexually attractive to women, that's when self-improvement comes into play. When you have a learning disability, well, you ever seen those news reports when the guy takes out a shotgun and start going on a murderous rampage? That is a result that guy is mentally challenged, because every time he talks to a beautiful, attractive woman, and you see, this is something that the punk-ass pickup artists and the dating coaches don't have the balls to tell you. A woman can tell if you're mentally stable or if you're not mentally stable. And usually that can factor into being rejected, I don't know what, 10 times, 15 times, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 times. You can get 100 rejections in 10 years if women think you're mentally retarded. If you're someone that is not physically sexually attractive, you might just get rejected 10 to maybe 30 damn times in 5 years. And at some point, you'll get a woman. But if you got a mental disorder, then you're probably going to go through the rest of your life not getting a woman, because what I just said, a woman cannot help you if she's not a doctor. Now you see the hypocrisy, right? Now let's talk about what happens when the guy gets back at the girl at the workplace. The man that the woman said that he's not physically sexually attractive, he can transform himself into a man that is physically sexually attractive. You know, he goes to the gym, he gets bigger, he gets stronger, he gets faster, he gets six-pack abs, he's got 2 jobs, he makes money, he gets a car. So he can get back to that level. And his confidence becomes better than it ever's been because of self-improvement. Now, there are 2 ways to get back at a woman that run game on you at the workplace. One, you get your Mac on with all her girlfriends. You find the most sexiest, most finest ass woman that's her girlfriend, and you do that to get her ass back. But that might be too damn obvious. But there's another one, and that's called find out who her mortal enemy is. Remember this, and remember this in the martial arts. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. You know what that means? That means if you ever find out who her competition is, always get your Mac on with her competition. That always fucks with a woman's head. How dare this mother try to go talk to my sworn enemy at work? And you know why you do that? And when she asks you why you talking to her, you hit her with the most obvious answer. The last time I remember, you have a boyfriend. And you reported me to the H&R's office 3 times because every time I give you a love letter, or I try to give you some candy, or I try to ask you out to coffee, I make you feel uncomfortable. You hit that bitch with that every single damn time. And you see, when you do get with her mortal enemy, you may not get no pussy, but there is one thing that you have won from the bitch: respect. And by the end of the day, what's better than nothing? Respect is better if you don't get any pussy. If you don't ever get no pussy, respect is the best thing you can get out of it. And you see, when you do that to her, it'll make her feel some type of way. And then other people will say, you know, he had to get your ass back on that one. Like, if I was him, I would get your ass back. That's how the guys would talk. The females be like, he an asshole, he a jerk. He should have never did that to her. He should understand that she don't like him like that. And you see, when I say women, or the women at your job are just like the women in high school and college, it's like taking a time machine and going back to high school and college all over again. And guess what? When you don't see this woman and it's 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, and she got kids, that's when she'll roll up on you and say, do you remember me? And you'll probably look at her like, yeah, I do, but when I do remember you, it ain't for nothing good, it's for something bad. And she'll try to take the most nicest thing about you that she remember, and she'll try to use that to sweet talk you. Anytime a woman open her mouth and it's been 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, or extreme cases 25 to 30 years later, and she say, do you remember me? Remember that the word remember me means I fucked up. That means nobody wants to talk to her, nobody wants to take her out to lunch and dinner, and nobody wants to have sex with her no more because she's full of shit. And men don't fuck with women that are full of shit because they're drama queens. They're the self-entitled bitch. That means when she gets like 30, 35 years old, and she like, do you remember me? We used to work together, remember? You can hit her with, you know it's been 10 years, right? You know it's been 15 years, right? You know it's been 20 years, right? So, why are you talking to me when back in the day you call the police on me, or back in the day you call H&R's office? You know what type of ignorant answer you get? Oh, I was young, I was a kid, I didn't know any better. Now, the truth is some women don't know no better when they're 18, 19, 20, 21. Then you have some that actually know what the fuck they were doing when they were doing it. And you see, here's what I find funny. Women think, people like me and you as men, they think we're stupid. They think that you're not going to remember that I publicly humiliated you 10 years ago, or I humiliated you 15 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 25 to 30 years ago. They think you don't remember this shit. And what women fail to understand, we're like the Terminator. We always remember what you've done. We don't harp on it. We don't go, oh, I'm going to get that bitch one. We don't do that ignorant shit. But we don't ever forget. And what we wait for is for you to say something stupid so we can ignore and reject you. You want to know the best way to get back at a female who do that? Is to reject her 10 years later. Because women, when they come back to you, they're not coming back till they find you physically, sexually attractive. What's happening is fire trucks coming through. What's happening is she's only doing that because she's gotten older. So when she gets 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 years old, she's only coming back to you because she's gotten older and don't nobody want to deal with her no more. And she figured that you still might be dumb and stupid, that she can take an advantage of it, not realizing that you've gotten mature, you've gotten smarter, you've gotten years of experience under your belt. You're not that same goofy, clumsy person at the job laughing at every joke that's not fucking funny. And by the time you get 35 or 40 and she's the same age, guess what the fuck happens without you asking for it? Oh, here goes my phone number. And you probably might be looking at her like, you know, if Avengers Infinity War was real and I had an Infinity Gauntlet, I'd erase you out of existence. Because it shouldn't take no 10 years, no 15 years, no 20 years for you to give me a phone number. And when they do that, the only reason why she's doing it is because subconsciously in her mind, she know you're going to try to do the one thing that women don't want you to do. She know you're going to try to extract revenge because you don't like rejection. No man likes when women reject them. But when a man rejects a woman will try to bring fire and brimstone because she got rejected one time. But how many times women have rejected men? All the time. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Guess what? When you do it to her and you ain't seen her for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, she look at you like, how dare you reject me? And you be looking at her like, you got 3 kids and you're 300 pounds. What do you mean not reject you? Yeah. Aristocrat, hypocrite motherfuckers. They're everywhere. And guess what? They think you're supposed to forget. We don't ever forget. We just don't talk about it. And when these guys pump and dump these females, a lot of times when a woman that a woman get pumped and dumped, it ain't always because the woman cheated. It's usually as a result that once upon a time, that woman got that man fired from his job. That woman got him brought up to the H&R's office. That woman called the police on him. That woman has some gang members come jump and beat his ass. It's usually the result of something that happened bad in the past. And by him pumping and dumping her, it's to make a statement. It's to let her know ignorance cannot be tolerated. So now that I explained to you what happens in the workplace, part 3, I'm going to talk about the money. Why some people quit their job because they're not being paid enough money.